The lights were too bright. Anna couldn't breathe. They stood in the center of a massive soundstage, cameras circling them like vultures. The director yelled something, but it sounded muffled, distant, like underwater noise. Her heart was racing, her hands shaking. This was the moment, the biggest scene of the movie. She was the lead. Everything rested on her now, but nothing was coming out. Her mouth opened, no words, just silence and eyes. Everyone watching, 100 crew members, 3 cameras, 2 producers. And Keanu, he stood across from her in costume, already deep in character. He was calm, strong, steady, just like always. But when he saw her freeze, his face softened. It was subtle only. Someone really watching would have noticed. But his eyes changed, and he knew Anna was drowning. Asterisk, asterisk. The pressure had been building. For days, this wasn't just any film. It was a high-profile drama set in post-war Europe, with layers of emotion, trauma, and healing. Critics were already calling it Keanu's next masterpiece. Anna, well, some called her an unusual choice for the role. Too modern, too glamorous, too soft-spoken. But she had fought for this. She trained for months, learned the accent, studied the history, the pain, the quiet strength of her character. She wanted to prove she could carry something raw and real, not just beauty or charm. But today, it was too much. They'd been filming for 10 hours straight, no breaks. The emotional climax of the story. The monologue she had rehearsed 100 times. She had nailed it yesterday, but now, when the lights came on and the boom mic dropped, her mind went blank. Asterisk, asterisk line.
Asterisk.
It was sharp, impatient. Anna blinked, still nothing. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Someone sighed behind the camera. Someone else whispered, "Come on." And then came the moment Keanu did something that no one expected. He broke character. He didn't say his line. He didn't wait for the director. He walked across the stage, quietly, slowly, and stood beside Anna, not across from her, beside her. He didn't speak at first. He just stood there, close enough that she could feel his presence, his calm. Like an anchor then, without turning to her, he spoke low enough that only she could hear. "You're not alone," he said gently. She blinked again. Her throat tightened. Something in his voice, warm, steady, honest, made her chest ache. "We'll do it together," he added, and then he reached out without hesitation and took her hand. The director started to protest. "Keanu, what are you?" But Keanu raised his other hand. "Just give us a second." And something about the way he said it, so respectful yet firm, made the whole room fall silent. Anna looked at him, eyes wide. She didn't know what to say. He just smiled softly. "Don't worry about the lines. Just be here right now with me." Asterisk, asterisk. For a few moments, the cameras kept rolling, but no one said anything. It was quiet. Just the two of them in the middle of a soundstage, holding hands, surrounded by silence. Anna's breathing slowed. Her shoulders dropped. Keanu leaned in slightly and said, "Do you remember why you wanted this role?" She nodded, lips trembling. "Then forget everything else," he whispered. "Just feel that." Asterisk, asterisk. The director slowly stepped back and gestured for the camera team to keep going. "Roll with it," he whispered. "Don't cut."
Oh.
And then, with no warning, Anna began to speak. Not from the script, from her heart. "I remember the fire," she said, her voice soft and raw. "I remember the sound it made as it took everything." Everyone froze. Even Keanu looked surprised. But he didn't interrupt. He didn't speak. He just listened. Anna kept going, her voice gaining strength. "I remember standing in the street barefoot, holding my mother's scarf, watching the house fall. I remember the soldiers laughing. I remember thinking, this can't be it. This can't be the end of my story." The crew held their breath. No one moved. Anna's eyes filled with tears. But she didn't stop. "And then I saw you," she said, turning toward Keanu. "A stranger. A man who had every reason to walk past me. But you didn't. You stopped. You saw me. Keanu stepped back into character without effort, took a breath, and his reply came naturally. How could I not? And just like that, they were in the scene. No script, no cues. Just truth. Asterisk. Asterisk. When the director finally called cut, there was silence. Then someone clapped. Then another soon. The whole crew was applauding. Anna did Frozen again, but this time for a different reason. She was stunned. The director walked over, eyes wide. I don't know what just happened, he said. But that's the take. Anna looked at Keanu. He gave a small nod. That was all you. She shook her head slowly. No, it was you. You saved me. He smiled. No, I reminded you. Asterisk, asterisk, back in her trailer that evening, Anna sat on the little couch staring at the mirror. Her makeup was smeared, her eyes red. But she had never felt more alive. She thought about the moment she froze, the panic, the doubt, and the hand that reached out to hers. She picked up her phone and texted Keanu. Thank you. For not letting me fall. A few seconds later, he replied, You were never going to fall. I was just there to remind you how strong you are. Asterisk, asterisk, but not everyone saw it that way by morning. A leaked clip of the moment had hit the internet, a behind the scenes. Camera had caught the raw, unscripted exchange. Social media blew up. Keanu saves Anna during emotional breakdown. Ana de Armas forgets her lines. Keanu carries scene. Why to get this man an award? But the comments were mixed. Some praised the vulnerability. Others weren't so kind. She's not ready for serious roles. Keanu saved the movie. That's acting. My dog deserves an Oscar. Anna read them alone in her trailer, and her hands began to shake again. Asterisk, asterisk. But then came the biggest twist of all. Keanu asked to see her. He didn't text. He knocked, and when she opened the door, he was holding 2 coffees and a folder. What's that? She asked, stepping aside. Something you should see? He handed her the folder. Inside was a printed email from the studio head. Whatever happened yesterday, it's magic. That take will stay in the final cut. We want that scene. Promoted, untouched, raw. Anna looked up, blinking. They want it, she whispered. Keanu nodded. They saw what we saw, something real. Anna's eyes filled with tears again, but I was weak. Keanu shook his head. No, you were honest. And that's stronger than anything. He raised his coffee to pressure. And the beauty that comes when we stop running from it. Anna smiled softly, and they clinked cups. And for the first time in days, she laughed. Asterisk, asterisk, but neither of them knew. This was only the beginning. The next scene would test them both, and this time it would be Keanu who needed saving. The studio was buzzing. After the raw scene between Anna and Keanu went viral, everything changed. The producers leaned in. Media requests poured in. People were calling it a moment of unscripted magic. There were whispers of awards and rumors of trouble because not everyone liked how real it felt, and some of them had power. Asterisk, asterisk, Anna walked into the studio the next morning with her hoodie up and sunglasses on. She wasn't trying to hide, just breathe, but cameras were waiting. Anyway, paparazzi leaned across the barricades shouting her name. Anna, were you really crying? Was it real or scripted? Do you need Keanu to carry every scene? She didn't answer. She just walked step by step, trying to keep her breath steady. Keanu was already inside. When she stepped onto the soundstage, he looked up from a script and gave a small wave. Warm, steady, quiet. She exhaled. Morning, he said gently. Hey, she whispered. He studied her face for a moment. You okay? She hesitated. Then nodded. I will be. He didn't press, just nodded back. Asterisk, asterisk. They started blocking a new scene that day. This one wasn't emotionally, was quiet. 2 characters sitting in a bombed-out chapel, whispering memories of the past. The lighting was low, the sound minimal, but the tension in the room thick. There was a new face behind the monitor. Producer Raymond Kessler. He didn't smile. He just watched. He had been silent so far, but everyone knew he had come down from New York to keep the film on track. Rumors said he didn't like the viral scene, thought it made Anna look weak, and stole focus from the male lead. Keanu didn't say anything about it, but he noticed, and so did Anna. *** during the scene. Anna delivered her lines perfectly, but something was off. She felt it. And when they called cut, Raymond walked onto the set. "Anna," he said coolly, "can I have a word?" She followed him to the corner of the stage where the crew couldn't hear. "Look," he said, folding his arms. "I know that little clip made headlines. I know people are emotional. But this is a serious movie, and we need you strong, not teary." Anna blinked. That scene was in character. It wasn't weakness. Yeah. "It looked like you cracked," he said bluntly. "Keanu had to walk over and save it. We can't have that again." Anna stiffened. "You didn't save me. He supported me." Different, he leaned in. "Just tighten it up, okay? Don't let your nerves show. This isn't some indie passion piece. This is a $70 million film." Anna stood still. Her heart pounded, but she nodded slowly. "Understood." ***, Keanu watched from a distance. He saw her face tighten, her eyes dim a little. He knew that look. He had seen it on younger actors and struggling crew members, even in the mirror years ago. Doubt, but he didn't interfere. Not yet. ***, rehearsals moved on. For the next few days, Anna got quieter, more careful. She hit her marks, said her lines. Smiled when needed, but the fire was fading, even in takes that were technically perfect. Something felt hollow, Keanu noticed, and he didn't like it. ***, one night after filming, he knocked on her trailer door. She opened it slowly, mascara barely smudged from a long day. He held up a brown paper bag. "I brought tacos." Surprised why? "'Cause tacos don't judge," he said with a smile. She laughed just a little. "Okay, come in." They sat on the floor of her trailer, eating quietly. After a few minutes, Keanu spoke. "I saw Raymond pull you aside." She didn't answer right away then. "He thinks I'm too soft for this." Keanu put down his taco. "He's wrong. He said the scene only worked because of you, because you stepped in." Keanu shook his head. "That scene worked because it was honest, because you let people in." "But that's not what they want now," she whispered. "They want strong, silent, polished." He looked at her. "What do you want?" Her eyes filled. "I want to matter." The room was quiet. He leaned forward. "You already do?" She swallowed hard. "What if I'm not enough?" He didn't rush his answer. Just said softly, "Then they weren't looking closely enough." Later that week. A press junket was scheduled. Anna didn't want to go, but it wasn't optional. Interviewers lined up, lights flashed, questions came fast, but then one journalist leaned forward and said, "Anna, some online critics say your emotional moment was a sign you weren't ready for a lead role. How do you respond?" She froze. The question was sharp, deliberate. Her lips parted, no words, but before she could speak, Keanu did. He leaned forward, his voice calm and clear. "That scene was the most honest moment I've ever been part of. On set," he said, "it wasn't weakness, it was courage. And if you can't see that, maybe you're not watching closely enough." The room went silent. Anna's eyes glistened, and then the journalist lowered his mic. ***, that clip went viral. Too. But this time, the headlines were different. Keanu defends Anna on live panel. "Not weakness, courage," says Reeves. Audiences rally behind Anna after press ambush. People started posting their own stories of freezing under pressure, of breaking down, being saved by kindness. Anna started getting letters, handwritten ones, emails from young actors, notes from fans who said, "I saw myself in you." But Raymond wasn't happy. At the next production meeting, he cornered Keanu. "Look," he said, "I get that you're the good guy, protector, whatever, but we can't keep having these distractions." Keanu stayed calm. "A truth isn't a distraction. We're trying to make a film here, so are we." Raymond's jaw clenched. "Just keep her focused." Keanu smiled, but there was steel behind it. "She's already focused. Maybe it's you who needs to." And with that, He walked away. Asterisk. Asterisk. That night. Anna sat alone on the soundstage after wrap. Everyone had gone home, but she stayed, sat in the middle of the set, quiet, breathing then. Footsteps, Keanu. He sat beside her. They didn't speak for a long time, just sat, until finally Anna whispered, "I don't want to be rescued." Keanu nodded. "Then don't be." She looked at him. "But you keep stepping in." He looked back. "Not to rescue you. To remind you, you don't need it." She nodded slowly, then said, "Next scene." "I want to lead it." Keanu smiled. "Good. I'll follow." Asterisk, asterisk. The next day's scene was intense. Anna's character confronts the truth about her past. A 6-page monologue, a moment of collapse and rising. Everyone expected it to take hours. Anna did it in one take. No cuts, no pauses. And when she finished, the room was silent again. Not because she froze, but because no one dared to speak. She had owned it. Her voice shook. Her hands trembled, but she didn't fall. Not once. Asterisk, asterisk, when the director whispered cut. Someone wiped away a tear. Anna stood there, breathing hard, eyes still damp in Raymond. He stood frozen behind the monitor. No notes, no words, just stunned silence. Keanu stepped beside her and whispered, "I think they saw you now." And she finally smiled. "I think I saw me too." Asterisk, asterisk, but something was still coming. A final twist. Something that would test not just their performance, but their bond. And this time, it wouldn't be about cameras or critics, it would be personal. And it would start with a phone call that no one expected. Asterisk, asterisk. It started with a phone call. Anna had just finished her morning stretch in the trailer, still in sweatpants, her hair tied back loosely. The sun was barely up. Filming wouldn't start for another hour. She was about to pour a cup of coffee when her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Something about the timing made her answer. A quiet voice on the other end. "Anna." She froze. It was her brother Miguel. She hadn't spoken to him in over 2 years. Asterisk, asterisk. Miguel had taken a different path. While Anna chased film sets and photo shoots, Miguel had battled something much darker. He had been in and out of recovery, trying to escape a life of bad choices and worse friends. When they last spoke, it ended in shouting, pain, silence. He wasn't supposed to know where she was. "How did you get this number?" she whispered. "I'm sorry," he said. "I needed to hear your voice." "I saw the video, the scene, when you froze, and how you got back up." Anna's heart ached. "I thought of Mom," he said. "How she used to say, you were the strongest one." I didn't believe her then, but I do now. Anna sat slowly on the couch. "Where are you?" she asked. "Vegas, working on getting clean again." She didn't say anything. "I'm not asking." "For money," he added. "I just wanted you to know. I'm proud of you." Her throat tightened. "You could have told me that sooner. I wasn't ready." She closed her eyes. "And now, I want to see you." A long silence. "Please." Asterisk, asterisk. The next day, Anna was distracted on set. She hit her marks.
Remembered her lines.
Smiled at crew members, but inside her mind was racing. She told no one about the call. Not yet, but Keanu noticed. At lunch, they sat under a shaded corner near the prop trailers. He offered her half of his sandwich without asking. "You're quieter today," he said. Double quotes, "just tired." He raised an eyebrow. She sighed. "My brother called. He waited, the one I don't talk about. And now he wants to see me." Keanu nodded slowly. "Are you ready?" "I don't know." He looked at her, steady. "You don't have to be ready. You just have to be honest." She laughed a little. "It sounds like something my mom used to say. She was smart. She was tired of cleaning up after both of us." "Then maybe it's time you both stop cleaning and start building." Anna looked down at her hands. "He's in Vegas. You want to go? We have scenes tomorrow." Keanu shrugged. "They can wait." Asterisk, asterisk. Later that night, Anna texted the director. "I need 24 hours. Family emergency." He replied quickly, "Take what you need." But before she left, she hesitated. She didn't want to go alone, and somehow she knew who to ask. Asterisk. Asterisk. They drove through the desert in Keanu's quiet black car. No, use it. Just wind. Anna sat in the passenger seat, staring out the window. "You don't have to say anything," he said gently. "I want to." She told him about Miguel, the addiction, the nights she cried, the guilt, the times she walked away, and the part of her that never stopped hoping. "What if he's still the same?" she whispered. "Then you'll know you tried. And if he's different." Keanu smiled. "Then maybe you'll get your brother back." Asterisk, asterisk. They found Miguel in a small rehab center outside Vegas. He looked older, tired, but sober. He hugged Anna awkwardly, then stronger. He shook Keanu's hand with quiet respect. They sat in the small courtyard under a dry tree, drinking vending machine. "Coffee. I saw the video," Miguel said. "The one where you break and then shine." Anna looked at him. "I didn't mean for anyone to see that part, but that's the part that saved me." She blinked. "What?" "It reminded me that breaking isn't the end. It can be the start." Her hands trembled. "I was going to use again that night," he whispered. "But I saw you, and something in me stopped." Tears slipped down Anna's cheeks. She hadn't come here for redemption. But something deeper was happening. She didn't say a word. She just reached out, took his hand, and they sat like that for a long time. Asterisk, asterisk, when they drove back. The silence was softer, safer. Anna leaned her head against the window, watching the desert pass. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" Keanu asked. "For driving? For listening? For not making me feel small?" He glanced over, then back at the road. "You've never been small. The world just doesn't always look close enough." She smiled, eyes damp. "I think I want to write a scene about this," she said. "Do it. A sister, a brother, meeting again, in the quiet." Keanu nodded. "That's where the truth lives." Asterisk, asterisk. They got back just before dawn. Filming resumed at 10 a.m. Showed up without makeup, no fancy hair, just real. She handed the director a few handwritten pages. "I wrote something," she said. He looked at it, read it, then looked up. "Can we shoot it today?" Anna blinked. "Really? It's the best thing I've read this month." Asterisk, asterisk. They turned off the lights. Just one camera, one mic. Anna stood in front of a window prop with sunlight spilling in, and she began to speak. A monologue. A story. No script, just truth. He was always chasing something, she said. Running from him. From the fear that if I stayed close, I'd fall too. Keanu listened from behind the camera, heart heavy. "But love doesn't mean saving someone," she continued. "It means sitting beside them, even when they're broken, even when you're scared." When she finished, no one clapped. No one moved. It was too sacred for noise. Asterisk, asterisk, by evening. The new scene had gone to editing. They sent it to the studio for review, and once again, Raymond Kessler had something to say. He barged into the editing suite the next morning. "What is this?" he snapped, holding a still frame. The editor looked up. Anna's new monologue. She wrote it last night. "It's stunning." "It's not in the script. It's real." Raymond growled. "This isn't a therapy session. It's a film." But Keanu walked in just then, silent as ever, and for the first time, Raymond flinched. "We're not making a lie," Keanu said. "We're making art. And sometimes, truth breaks through the script." Asterisk, asterisk. Anna got called to the office. She thought they were going to shut it down, cut her scene, warn her again. But instead, the studio head smiled. "We want to open the trailer with your monologue." She blinked. "What?" "It's raw. It's timely. It's exactly what people need to hear." Anna's heart thudded. "You're not just the lead actress now," he added. "You're the heartbeat." Asterisk, asterisk. Later, Anna sat alone in her trailer again. She looked at her phone. She typed a message to Miguel. Your words. Made it into the film, he replied, and your words saved me. Asterisk, asterisk. But just when things felt steady, a new twist hit, a news leak, a tabloid headline, Ana de Armas and Keanu Reeves. More than just co-stars? The internet exploded. Comments, assumptions, gossip, and someone on the inside had fed the story. Ana's heart dropped. They had fought so hard to protect something real, and now it was being twisted, used, exploited. Asterisk, asterisk, the worst part. The source claimed it was emotional manipulation to build hype for the film. Ina stared at the screen, shaking her heart pounding. The line that hurt the most. She faked the breakdown, played the hero, all for publicity. And this time, she didn't know if even Keanu could save her. Ana's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Every time she opened it, was another message, another headline, another post twisting the truth into something cruel. She cried on cue to get attention. Keanu's kindness was just a setup. Are the emotional scenes real or rehearsed? But the worst comment came from someone close. Someone inside the studio. A leaked statement from Raymond Kessler. Let's not pretend the crying was real. It was clever marketing. They knew what they were doing. Ana stood in the center of her trailer, staring at the screen. Her hands were shaking. It wasn't just gossip. Now it was betrayal. Raymond had turned their truth into a headline. She felt sick. She looked around, like the walls were closing in. Then, without thinking, she grabbed her jacket and walked out. She needed air. Asterisk, asterisk. She wandered to the far end of the studio lot, where no cameras waited, no makeup artists, no producers, just the old unused soundstage, quiet, empty, almost forgotten. She sat on a rusted bench outside the doors, head in her hands, and for the first time since filming began, she cried alone. Not for a scene, not in front of a crew, but because her heart was breaking. Everything she had been afraid of was happening. They were twisting it, turning her moment of truth into a lie. Asterisk, asterisk, Ana. She looked up. Keanu was there, his eyes soft, his voice even softer. He sat beside her without asking. He didn't touch her. He didn't speak again. He just waited until finally. She whispered, "They think it was fake." He nodded slowly. "They're wrong, but they're loud." "We're stronger." She looked at him, tears in her eyes. "Are we?" Keanu leaned back against the bench. "Did you remember the first time you saw your reflection on a big screen?" She nodded. "I hated it. I thought I looked, I'm sure." He smiled gently. "I thought I looked like a scared tree." She laughed through her tears. "You kinda did. Yeah. But then I realized being unsure didn't mean I didn't belong. It meant I was growing." Ana looked down. "But what if people stopped believing in me?" Keanu said nothing for a moment. "Then let them stop. You'll keep going." Asterisk, asterisk, back in the editing suite. The director was furious. He had seen the leak. Read the quotes. And now he was staring at Raymond across the room. "Did you say that?" Raymond shrugged. "I said what needed to be said. You just called your lead actress a liar. I said she's clever. That scene boosted our numbers." The director's jaw clenched. "You turned something sacred into a tool." "Was already a tool. We just sharpened it." But the editor stepped in. "No, Raymond, you cut it." Asterisk, asterisk, Ana stayed away from the cameras that day. But Keanu? DADN. Single quotes, he called a press meeting. No publicist. Just him, a single chair. One microphone and 100 reporters? They all expected silence or a carefully written statement. Instead, sat down, looked straight into the cameras, and said, "I've worked in this industry for over 3 decades. I've done stunts, memorized. Pages of dialogue, built characters from nothing." He paused. "But nothing has ever felt as real as that moment when Ana froze. And then rose." Cameras clicked. He continued, voice steady. "That wasn't acting. That was courage. If you twist it into a headline, you're missing the truth." He stood. "I won't play along with lies. and neither should you. Asterisk, asterisk, by nightfall, the internet had turned again. This time, for Anna. Keanu stands up for Anna. That was courage. The industry is listening. Maybe it's time we stop punishing vulnerability. And then something unexpected happened. Anne. Old clips are Festina's first ever screen test as a teenager in Cuba. No makeup. Broken English. Shaking hands and a fire in her eyes, fans posted it side by side. With the emotional scene from the film, a hashtag began trending. Hashtag she kept going asterisk asterisk the next morning. Anna returned to set, and everything felt different. Crew members hugged her. Extras clapped quietly. Makeup artists smiled through tears. Someone had printed out the trending hashtag and taped it to her dressing room door. She stood there for a long time, staring at it, and when she walked in, Keanu was waiting. He held a script, but when he saw her, he tossed it aside. "We're not filming today," he said. "We're not. We're celebrating." Asterisk, asterisk. They sat in the middle of the empty set with the whole crew gathered around. Someone brought cupcakes. Someone else played music on a speaker. Anna stood in the middle, nervous, then stepped forward. "I don't have a speech," she said, voice trembling. "I just want to say thank you." The room fell quiet. "Thank you for believing in me when I didn't." Keanu stepped beside her. "You believed first. We just caught up." Asterisk, asterisk. But later that night, when the lights dimmed and the crew packed up, Raymond made one last move. A formal email to the studio. A request to cut the emotional scene from the final release. His reasoning? It's becoming a distraction from the story. The studio called Anna. They wanted a meeting. Her voice shook. "Do I need to bring someone?" "Yes," the studio head replied. "Bring the one who believes in you most." Asterisk, asterisk the next day. Anna walked into the meeting room with Keanu by her side. Raymond was already seated, arms folded. The studio head looked between them. "We're at a crossroads," he said. "There's pressure to clean up the film, make it more commercial." Anna nodded slowly. "And by clean up, you mean erase the scene?" "Yes." Keanu leaned forward. "Then you'll erase the truth. We have to think about image. Then think about hers," he said. "And what it means to every person who saw that moment and felt less alone." Anna looked at the studio. "Head, if you cut it, I'll walk." The room went still. Raymond raised an eyebrow. "You'd walk away from a global release?" Anna nodded. "Yes, because this started with something real. And if we lose that, we lose everything." Studio head sighed, then smiled. "We're keeping the scene." Raymond stood and stormed out. And just like that, truth stayed. Asterisk, asterisk, but one last surprise still waited. Because someone had been watching the journey quietly. Someone Anna never expected. A letter arrived. The next day, handwritten, no return address. She opened it carefully and read the first line aloud. "You don't know me, but I saw you, and you changed something in me." Anna sat on the edge of her trailer couch, staring at the letter in her hands. The paper trembled slightly as she held it. It was cream-colored, thick handwritten in careful loops. She read the words again. "You don't know me, but I saw you, and you changed something in me." Keanu watched her from across the room, quiet, patient. She looked up. Someone wrote this by hand. They didn't post it online. They didn't tag anyone. They just felt something and wanted to tell me. Nodded. "Some truths don't need an audience." Ina read further. "I watched you in that scene. The one they said was too raw. And I saw myself. I saw the moment I froze during a college presentation. The moment I dropped my script and everyone laughed. But you stood back up. And you reminded me it's okay to not be perfect. Thank you for showing that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet and still and brave." Anna blinked back tears. "I don't know how to explain it," she said. "This feels bigger than a movie." "It is." Keanu replied softly. "It's a mirror, and you let people see themselves in it." Asterisk, asterisk filming entered its final stretch. 3 scenes left. The emotional arc of the story had been shaped by everything. They lived every honest moment, every misstep, every recovery. But now, with the studio backing her and the world watching differently, Anna felt something shift inside her. Not fear, not pressure, but purpose. Asterisk, asterisk. The next scene was a quiet goodbye between the two leads. Keanu's character leaving the war-torn town, Anna's character staying to rebuild. The script said she was supposed to smile as he left, a soft, hopeful farewell. But as the camera rolled, Anna stood still. The smile didn't come. Instead, her eyes filled with tears, real ones, and for the first time, she didn't stop them. Keanu reached for her hand unscripted, and she whispered, "I don't want to be the only one left." A new lined-off dashbook, but true. Keanu didn't break. He stepped forward and replied softly, "Then don't be. Make them stay. Show them why." The director didn't cut. The camera kept rolling, and in that moment, the film changed again. Not louder, just deeper. Asterisk, asterisk, after the scene. The crew stood silently, then began to clap slowly. No one gave notes. No one asked for another take. It was done perfect and raw. Again, asterisk, asterisk, but just when everything seemed to be healing, another twist came. Anna's agent called with news. "Big news. You've been nominated," she said. "For what?" Anna asked. "Best Actress." Anna went silent. "It's early," the agent continued, "but critics are already placing bets. They say this might be the role that changes everything for you." Anna sank into the chair. Part of her wanted to scream with joy. Another part felt heavy. She hung up quietly. Keanu noticed the change in her eyes when she stepped out of the trailer. "What happened?" he asked. She told him. He smiled. "That's good, isn't it?" "Yeah," she whispered. "But it feels like the world wants me to keep proving that it was real." He nodded. "Then don't prove it, just keep being it." Asterisk, asterisk, in the days that followed. Press invitations flooded in, interviews, appearances, awards buzz. But Anna stayed grounded. She wrote in a little notebook every night. Not lines. Not press answers, just memories. Moments. Like the way Keanu reached out without words. Like the letter from a stranger who felt seen. Like the silence on set after a scene that wasn't. T meant to go that deep. Asterisk, asterisk, and then came the final. Shoot day, last scene, last chance. The film would end with a monologue, a letter from Anna's character to her future self. Placed inside a broken wall in a house being rebuilt, it was supposed to be hopeful, clean, written by the script team weeks ago. But Anna had an idea. She approached the director with a folded page. "I want to use my own words," she said. He read it, then nodded. "We roll in 20. Asterisk, asterisk. She stood alone in the center of a ruined house set, sun pouring in through broken beams, and she spoke softly, "To the girl I used to be. I'm sorry for all the times I tried to be perfect, for every time I stayed quiet so they wouldn't see me fall apart." The camera moved slowly, but now I know being real is better than being flawless. Outside the frame. Keanu listened. "I hope you cry sometimes. I hope you feel too much, because that means your heart is still wide open." A pause. "And when they try to tell you to hold back, don't." She folded the letter and slid it into the wall, then looked up, right into the lens. "You don't have to be strong alone." Asterisk, asterisk, cut. The room was still. Some crew members wiped their faces even. The gaffer had tears. The director whispered, "That's it." Keanu walked over slowly. Anna looked at him, unsure. He smiled. "You just ended the film and started something bigger." Asterisk, asterisk, they wrapped that night. No big party, just quiet. Hugs, photos, and a single group cheer. But Anna didn't go home. Not yet. She walked back onto the empty soundstage, barefoot, in her hoo. The fake windows, the dust, the wooden walls painted like stone. She stood where she had once frozen, surrounded by lights and pressure, and she smiled, because now it felt like a beginning. Asterisk, asterisk. But even as the film wrapped, and the studio polished trailers. One last problem waited because someone wasn't done. Raymond Kessler had filed a private legal complaint. He claimed unauthorized script changes, damaging leaks, and defamation of character. He blamed Anna. And next week, there would be a closed-door hearing. No cameras, no. Lights, just her voice. And the truth. Keanu knocked on her trailer door the next morning. She opened it slowly, still in a robe. "You heard?" she asked. He nodded. "He wants to silence me." Keanu looked at her carefully. "Then don't whisper." The room was cold, not in temperature, in energy. Anna sat at the long wooden table across from Raymond Kessler and his lawyer. She wore no makeup, no jewelry, just a soft blue shirt and quiet strength. Keanu sat beside her. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. His presence was enough. On the other end of the room sat a neutral panel, 3 studio executives and a legal advisor. They weren't here to judge character. They were here to decide if the production had been damaged, or if something sacred had been protected. Anna took a deep breath and waited. Raymond's lawyer spoke first. .com. Sharp, cold. "This isn't personal," he said. "This is about professionalism, procedure." The script was altered without approval. Scenes were filmed off-book. Behind-the-scenes moments were leaked. As a result, Mr. Kessler's reputation has been publicly questioned. Anna stayed still. Then came Raymond's voice, smooth, controlled. "We had a plan. We had a tone, a direction. But it became emotional chaos. And that chaos was fueled by one person." He looked directly at her. Anna didn't flinch. "I don't doubt her pain," he added, "but pain doesn't sell movies. Stories do. Controlled, crafted stories." One of the executives turned to Anna. "Do you have anything to say in response?" Anna stood slowly. Her voice didn't shake. "I never planned to cry," she said. The room went quiet. "I didn't plan to freeze. I didn't plan to let the world see me fall. But it happened. Instead of hiding it, I let it stay. Not because I thought it would sell tickets, because I knew someone out there needed to see that moment." She paused. "I'm not here to win. I'm here because I finally stopped running from myself." One of the executives leaned forward. "Did you leak the footage?" Anna shook her head. "No." "Did you authorize the emotional scenes that weren't in the script?" "Yes." "And so did the director. So did the crew. Because we saw something real. We knew it mattered more than a perfect scene." Keanu spoke then. Finally, quietly, double quotes Raymond says, "Pain doesn't sell movies. Maybe not, but truth does. And if we lose that, we've already failed." The room was still. The executives stood and left to make their decision. Anna sat down slowly. Her hands were shaking now. Keanu took one gently. "You did good," he said. "What if they side with him? Then we start over." "Tired of starting over, I know," he said softly. "But you never start from nothing. You start from strength." 20 minutes later. The panel returned. The lead executive spoke clearly. "After reviewing the evidence and statements, we find no misconduct by Ana de Armas. The scene changes were authorized by the director. Emotional content enhanced, not harm the integrity of the film." Anna exhaled, but the executive wasn't done. However, he continued. "The internal leaks and public comments made by Mr. Kessler damaged trust within the production. Effective immediately, he will no longer be involved in promotion or post-production." The face went pale. Anna just sat still. .com. But inside, something unclenched. For the first time in weeks, she felt free. Outside the building. The sky was soft with afternoon light. Keanu and Anna walked in silence down the marble steps. At the bottom, few crew members waited with quiet smiles. A makeup artist, a sound guy, the assistant director. They clapped. Softly when she reached them, Anna hugged each of them. One by one, Keanu waited nearby, smiling quietly. When she reached him, she paused. "I don't know what this was," she said. "A film, a fight, a beginning." He looked at her carefully. Maybe. It was all three. She nodded, then whispered, "Thank you for never stepping away." He gave a soft smile. You never needed saving. You just needed someone to stand still until you found your balance. She blinked back tears. Well, you stood still really well. I've had practice. They both laughed. Quiet, gentle, earned. Asterisk, asterisk. The trailer released 2 weeks later. It opened with her monologue. To the girl I used to be. I'm sorry for trying so hard to be perfect. It spread like fire. Not because it was flashy, but because it was real. The studio leaned in. Not just for this project, but for more like it. Stories that made people feel, and for Anna. Doors opened not because of fame, but because of truth. She got letters from nurses, teachers, students, grieving mothers, teenagers on the edge. You reminded me that breaking doesn't mean I'm broken. Your silence helped me hear myself again. You for not hiding the hard parts? Asterisk, asterisk 1 year later. Yana stood on stage at an award show. Not dressed for show, but with grace.com and fire in her chest. The room fell silent as she accepted her award. She held the microphone gently. I don't have a speech, she said. A thought. She looked out over the crowd. Don't be afraid to freeze. Don't be ashamed to pause. Because sometimes, the pause is where your voice begins. Applause started slow. Then built. Keanu was in the front row, smiling with quiet pride. Not loud, not needing credit, just present, like always. Asterisk, asterisk later that night. They stood on a balcony overlooking the city lights. Anna leaned on the railing, hair loose in the wind. So what now? She asked. You tell another story? And you? Keanu shrugged. Keep standing next to people who forget how strong they are. Anna smiled, then looked ahead. Lights blinking, city breathing, and somewhere inside her, no more fear, just fire and peace. Asterisk, asterisk, because she had frozen once and stood back up, not because someone caught her, but because someone reminded her she already knew how.